Boris Johnson has rejected claims that he wants David Cameron to lose the next election so he can take his job. He was responding to comments by the Prime Minister's former Director of Communications, Andy Coulson, who said Mr Johnson wants to see Mr Cameron fail miserably. Writing in GQ magazine, Mr Coulson says stabbing David, or anyone else for that matter, in the back would be distinctly off-brand, just not very Boris. He would much prefer to see David fail miserably in the election and ride in on his bike to save party and country.
Do you want the Prime Minister to fail miserably?
Of course not. I'm backing David Cameron all the way.
But you would fancy a crack at the top job, though, wouldn't you?
I'm always grateful. Sorry, I'm always grateful to Andy Coulson for his impeccable career advice. But I'm backing David Cameron, who I absolutely increasingly confident is going to win. Thank you.
But you fancy a crack at the top job?
Let's go live now to Westminster and our political editor Adam Bolton. Mr. Coulson stirring up the Tory party pot, but presumably there is more than a grain of truth behind this.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't heard much from Andy Coulson recently because, of course, he had to resign as the Prime Minister's advisor because he got entangled in the hacking affair because of his previous job as editor of the News of the World, and he faces trial this autumn on charges relating to that. Now, these are extracts of an article. We haven't seen the full article that he's written for GQ magazine, and in them he describes the moment when David Cameron got the message that Boris Johnson was indeed going to run as the Tory candidate for Mayor of London. And what he says is that David Cameron said he'll be a good candidate and then remarked he'll be after my job next. That, I think, as far as Boris Johnson's ambition is concerned, is true. He has said he would like to be Prime Minister if he got the opportunity. But the question is, how does he get that opportunity? David Cameron would have to be moved to one side, to have failed in some way. So I think the ambitious side of Mr Johnson probably is well reflected by Andy Coulson. On the other hand, to become leader of the Tory party and therefore Prime Minister if the Tories win an election, you have to be an MP, and Boris Johnson is not an MP at the moment. He's Mayor of London.
Well, thank you very much, Adam. You're watching